Have you ever gone on a backpacking trip and somebody in your party does one of the most stupid things you can ever imagine and you really can't do anything about it except watch them fall to their death? Well, spoiler alert, nobody fell to their death, but we were on our second backpacking trip, I believe it was number 2, to the northwest Arkansas area, to the upper Buffalo wilderness area. And again, you hike starting at the top of the ridge and you hike down to the river. So we were hiking down, we went in a separate way this time, and it wasn't the same one where we almost got bit by the rattlesnake. That was a different area a little bit farther to the west, but it's still the same general area we're gonna hike into, just a different trail. So we're hiking in and there's a sign that says, I think it says Big Bluff. There's Jim's Bluff and there's Big Bluff. They're both in the same area. And so we go out there. It's not very far of a diversion to go out to the bluff. So we go out there and it's extraordinary, beautiful view. This bluff just drops. I mean, I want to say it's 1,000 feet, but it's probably 200-300 foot, just straight drop down to the river. And the river comes around, it winds around right up by the bluff and then heads out, and then it goes out towards Jim's Bluff. So we're having a great time, enjoying the view, and one of my nephews, I won't mention his name, but his name's Christopher. He goes over to this tree, and there's this dead tree that's sticking out over the bluff. And he tests it and everything's cool. He says it's cool. And he goes out on the tree. No joke. It's at least, I'm going to say 10, 12 feet. Maybe it was 6, 7 feet, whatever. It was over the edge of that bluff. If something would have happened, he would have fallen to his death. So he goes out there and he's sitting on the tree, or he's kneeling down on the tree. And I'm like, it's my sister's son. I feel a little bit of, some responsibility to get him off that tree. And I'm like, Christopher, get over here. Well, my son, Caleb, he's like, oh, that's cool. Hey, I want to go do that. So he starts heading over there, and man, I panicked. I'm like, I grabbed him. I'm like, I can't stop him, because Christopher at that point is at least 16 to probably 18, 19 maybe. He's over there and I'm like, yeah, I can't stop him. Plus he's pretty big, Christopher is. And I said, but I can stop you. So I grabbed Caleb, like, you are not going out there. So Christopher's just kneeling down on this dead tree. I mean, first of all, it's not a live tree, and a live tree can break and fall anyway. It's a dead tree. So I mean, is it really better than a live tree? All right, anyway, so he finally comes off of that tree. Just a little spoiler alert, maybe a year or two later, I find out that he basically had a death wish. And it's kind of the sad part of the story. Now, he's alive and he's gotten past that. He really was having issues with thinking about death and wanting to die or all that. And I don't know, a lot of young people, I think, do that these days or have that. And I'm not sure why, but he did. And so he was out there on that tree because he could care less about his life. Well, the thing is, I'm going to get on a soapbox for a second here, but when somebody doesn't care about their life and they want to do something about their life, or they think about it, it's not just you, it's the people you leave behind that have to deal with it or witness it. Like, are you kidding me? If I would have seen him fall to his death, yeah, I think I could have got over it, right? But I don't want to ever see that. But it was just horrible. It was taking a great trip. It was beautiful weather. The trip ended up being great after that. We went down, camped at the river, had a great time. You take something that's beautiful and could be a great thing, and somebody goes out and does something stupid. He knows it was stupid. I thump him all the time, or think about thumping him. Like, why? Why did you do that? Well, now I know why he did it. Beautiful place. If you ever get a chance to go and visit the upper Buffalo wilderness area, and there's a middle and the lower, and they all are different. They have different views, landscapes with them. Well, check it out though, because that upper Buffalo wilderness area is right near Harrison, Arkansas. Beautiful area. It goes from Harrison up to Eureka Springs area, and then over to whatever is in the northwest part of Arkansas. Rogers, Arkansas, I believe. It's a beautiful spot. If you're ever in that area, go check it out, because it's fun to go hike, and you can actually float that river too. That's another story for another day, but you can camp, hike, and float. I'll just say that if you go there in the summer and you think, hey, I'm going to hike down into this river and I'm going to be all by myself and enjoy the beauty of Arkansas, guess what? All those boaters, those rafters, they put in upstream, and during the middle of the day, probably July, August, maybe even June, it's a highway of rafters, tubers, kayakers, it's just horrible. It's so beautiful. But it was irritating. And I'll tell that story another day, but sometimes things happen and you just got to sit back and laugh. You're like, you know what? I can't do anything about it. So do we have any popcorn? Can we just sit here and watch the theatrical show? Because the other thing that happened is right there was a water hole and a kind of small bluff, whatever. And we didn't know, but everybody would stop there and jump off the rock. You got to be kidding me. There's nothing peace and quiet about this place, except when the boaters all left. Well, again, get out in the outdoors and enjoy yourself, but be prepared. And I'll see you back here in Colorado in the next video.